Hello, hello. Can I just say, I think for the first time this is working. But hey, look, I've just noticed. Hilarious. I've got one earring in. This is because up until about 10 minutes ago, I was putting the lovely Aluna to sleep. And when I say putting her to sleep, I mean laying next to her, making sure that she's all absolutely cool, calm and collected. So I took one of my earrings out because it was uncomfortable. But hey, I am here. And Ashley is saying that she can actually see me. And I'm guessing that you can actually hear me too. Oh, bless. I'm going to move my phone over so I don't have to keep looking to the side of me for your comments. Here we go. And Hannah was just saying that was an exciting intro. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who is tuning in today. I hope that you have had a marvellous day. And yeah, I'm chuffed that a few of you are like, you're here, you're joining me for this evening. So look, I am going to try and make this. We were a little bit, we had an attempt of it on Friday and we started off and it was a bit of a nightmare. It was a bit of a shit show, come on, let's face it. And it was a bit clunky. So I'm hoping that I have now got my shizzle together and it's all going to be much more fluid. But I really want your feedback. I really want your questions. If you're not getting anything, if you're like, oh, how can I make this work for me? Then please just post your questions in the comments. I am also still a little bit worried about the internet connection, even though we've got a nice little cable going on. But if the sound gets, or the broadcast keeps getting interrupted, please do let me know, because I've already got a little red mark and that doesn't make me happy. But we shall see what happens. And Tara, if you don't mind sharing this, then I'll also appreciate that too. Right, my darlings, I am going to dive right in. What we are talking about today is how to beat the Facebook algorithm, which is a question that came up from one of my lovely baby business schoolers. And so I thought that this would be a perfect coaching and on-the-spot support in a laser-focused way as I can. And so I wanted to make this bigger and I wanted to make it more impactful. So hopefully this is what this is all going to be about. So let's get going. Now, what I wanted to say was the first thing that I want you to be thinking about when you are thinking about your how to oh, robot. Oh, you beasted. Oh, that was a crazy oh no, am I back? Am I back as normal? If I'm not, then I will stop this broadcast and I will just do it without the slides, because you guys have been waiting for this all week. So let me know if I'm back and you can hear me as normal. And if you can't, I will stop this and just do a normal live, because I got some good shizzle here, peeps. Disco. What is that? I'm not sure what the feedback is when you say disco. It's strange because we can hear you, but it's crazy. Oh, right, fine. Do you know what? I'm just going to do this as a normal live. And oh, Debbie's saying it's normal now. It's when a slide comes. What about when I do... What about when I do that? Is that weird when I do that? If it's not weird, but I want you to be able to see my face as well as going back and forth. So we shall see. That is kind of not great. Let me know if it keeps doing that. I'll bloody get a refund on this, guys. Anyway, So the first thing I want you to get your lovely heads around is the mindset that you need to have if you are going to make Facebook work for you. It is one of the most powerful and important platforms out there. And I absolutely believe that you should all be using it. And I know that some people are like, oh, you know what? We need to go over to Instagram. Instagram is amazing. And I am upping my Insta game, but we can't see, and it's fine. Brilliant. I'm upping my Insta game for sure, but the reality is that Facebook own Instagram. So even if you get the next 6 months where your organic reach is amazing and you're able to kind of interact with people without paying anything, eventually Facebook are going to start implementing the same money-making stuff that they are doing on this platform. So it's really a short-sighted perspective if you think that the way that you're going to grow your business on demand without having to worry about what's going on with the algorithm over here or what's going on with the algorithm over there, it's really short-sighted if you think that you're never ever going to have to pay to play. And that is the state of affairs that where we are at with Facebook. However, what I want to say, and I don't want to stress you out, you do not need to be spending thousands of pounds. For most of you, particularly when you're working on a local basis, actually just spending a few pounds a week can make a difference to how many people are seeing your posts and getting new people to know what it is you are doing. And when you combine that with great organic reach strategies, you can change the way that you're able to show up on Facebook and get this platform working for you. So we're talking about free and paid for strategies. And that is the first kind of mindset switch that I want you guys to be thinking about, because when you get that, it starts to become much more fun to be playing with. And before I get into the paid for strategies, the thing that I want to share with you first is the 3 C's that you need to be thinking about. Let me know if you're going to get a crazy sound now. The 3 C's that you need to be thinking about, whether you are doing paid for or free stuff. So the first thing is content. So good quality content is an absolute must. The second thing is consistency. You need to be showing up on a regular and consistent basis. Once a week, guys. Anna's like, hi, I'm late, but I'm here. Yeah, it's fine. Consistency once a week is no longer good enough. And I know that in the past, I've even said 2 times is better than 1 time, 3 times is better than 1 time. Of course, it's better, but the reality is that when you can show up, particularly on Facebook, more than once a day and in a regular time slot, you can start playing with, not beating, but playing with the algorithm. And I'm going to talk more about that in detail. And the other C that you need to be thinking about is community. So I love it when you comment. I love it when I say something that you like and you give me the hearts. I love it when you give me the thumbs up. I love it when I make you angry and you give me the angry faces. I want engagement. The more engagement you can get off your written posts and off your live videos and off any of the content that you are creating, the more Facebook is going to say, this girl is creating good stuff and we need people to be seeing it. So I want you to remember the 3 C's: content, quality content, consistency, and community. And when you get those 3 things nailed, you are on to a start. So tell me, peeps, how many of you freak out just a little bit when I start talking about money and Facebook? Jade, no angry faces for me. How many of you freak out? How many of you are like, oh, I am not making enough to be spending a shed load of cash. I'm not making enough to be spending thousands of pounds on Facebook. And I want you to know that you do not have to be spending thousands of pounds. The paid for strategy that I am going to share with you tonight, we're talking about £2 a day, 5 days a week. And with £2 a day, 5 days a week, so we're talking about £40 a month, you can increase the number of people who are seeing your content. And if you use the ad manager so that you're creating custom audiences of people that you believe are going to be interested in your content, you can increase that by around 200 people a month. Now, if you're getting good quality people seeing your posts for £40 a month, is that worth it to you? Let me know if that is a yes. Because if it's a yes, peeps, you need to be doing it. And I'm going to break it down really, really simply for you. Because it is simple, and this is the exact strategy that I am using right now. So I want you to boost your ads to a custom audience. You create custom audiences in the ads manager. Now, when I mentioned this before the weekend, I said that if you are in the baby business school, please do not worry about this if this is not your forte, because I have got some of my favorite people coming in to show you exactly how to do this in about 6 weeks' time, so you are not throwing your money down the drain. The reason, and it's exactly what I'm going to do with this video, the reason that this is powerful is because you can get views from 1 to 2, maybe 5 pence at the most, but 1 to 2 pennies a view. So £2 a day, and you're paying 1 to 2 pence, that's around 50 to 100 people seeing your content. And when it's good, and when they're engaging, and when they're liking what you're doing, those people end up in a pics-ordered audience. So I talk a lot about the importance of getting people on your email list, which is absolutely paramount. You need to be doing that. But alongside it, creating a pixeled audience of people that have engaged with your page and engaged with your video is also really, really powerful. And what I would suggest that you do if you have a very limited budget at this stage is spend a week. I'd spend 2 weeks to start with building up your pixeled audience, building up the number of people who are engaging with your videos. And then I would do a week on and a week off. And on your week off, I would be promoting your freebie and asking people to join your list. But I would only be promoting that to people who have engaged with your videos for at least 3, ideally 10 seconds of your content. Because if somebody has sat there for 10 seconds, you know that these people are at least a little bit interested. So that when you then have a video saying, I've got this free giveaway and this is really great, and you need to just sign up here below, put your sign up in the first comment, you are going to get those leads for a lot less money than if you just put out a free opt-in. So that is what I would do. It's just one strategy, and obviously there are many, 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 but I am not the Facebook ads expert. I have people that do that for me. And for people who are in the family, I get them to come and share with you too. But that is one strategy which I believe can really, really help you increase your reach. Because when people talk about the organic reach going down the pan and people not being able to engage and interact with their stuff, what they're saying is I'm worried that I'm missing out on customers. So for just £40 a month, you can get your content in front of people who you know are interested when they watch at least 10 seconds of your video, and then retarget them. That is a very good way to use your money on Facebook. Jade is just saying this, love this, but I also find it a bit scary at times of how well they work, how I get retargeted. Yeah, I know, it can be a bit like, oh, but, you know, we can always hide ads. We can always hide them if we don't like them. Hannah, I don't understand pixeled audiences. So what that means is that when you, when somebody watches your video or when somebody comes onto your page, Facebook recognizes them and says, it drops a, what do you call it, a pixel on them and says that this person has engaged with your content. So what happens is in the back of Facebook, you build up a whole kind of net of people who have watched and engaged on your page or with your videos. And that net of people we call your pixeled audience. And then from that point on, you can create new ads where you target those people in the net. Let me know if that makes sense. Annalie, and worth every penny. I just need to implement what I learned from Martin. Martin is one of my guys on my team, and I've learned more from you again today. I love that. Thank you. Jennifer, are you talking lives? What type of videos? I'm definitely talking live videos. This is much more, video is good, lives are better. And I'm going to talk more about this in a moment, because I'm coming on to the baby, which is basically all about your organic reach. And this is what I really wanted to focus on today, because we've heard so much about the algorithm changing, and only 5 to 10% of the people who like our pages get to see our content. And ultimately, if you're looking at 100 or 500 people, or even me, I think I've now got just over, what have I got? I don't even know how many people I've got. But when you're looking at between 5 to 20% of people seeing your posts on a regular time, that can be really, really damaging. So what can you peeps do to make this better? I'm just looking at my notes. Okay, so I took this from the actual Facebook site. And I took this from an article that they had written for journalists about how to get their content seen in the news feed. And if Facebook are telling you that this is how you get your content seen in the news feed, then I am listening. And then, of course, I am going to share it with you guys. So the first piece of advice that Facebook gave in this article was your content needs to be relevant. Now, for journalists, this is really, really easy because they're talking about newsworthy, topical things all of the time. For us who have kind of very specific niches, we're not always talking about relevant things. However, what you can do on your page is to start using hashtags very sparingly. Please do not take all of the content that you're putting on Instagram with your 30 different hashtags and then share it to your page. Facebook will say that that is spammy. But 1 or 2 relevant hashtags in your Facebook posts show Facebook that you are joining a conversation. So what did I talk about in the beginning when I talked about those 3 C's? Community. When you are joining an existing conversation and you prove that by using the hashtags, Facebook really loves that. It shows that you are sharing relevant and up-to-date content. So that is my first piece of advice to you. Where possible, if you can use 1 or 2 hashtags on your Facebook page posts, do that, because the algorithm, Facebook likes that. The second piece of advice that Facebook give is that your content needs to be credible. And how they define whether your content is credible or not is how much engagement and how much sharing you're getting. So in my last launch, I was a little bit sneaky. Well, not sneaky, but I said to people, if you share this, you will get a free download. And so what it meant is that my post was shared 30 or 40 times from whoever was watching live. When you get something that is shared on lots or commented on lots, Facebook again determine that that is quality content and they're going to show it in the news feed more. So I really invite you, 1, when you are doing live broadcasts like this, encourage people to be sharing, commenting, asking questions, liking and engaging with your content. If you're sharing a mini blog post, I really recommend you do that on the platform, because Facebook love people staying on the platform. But ask people for questions, ask people for their opinions, ask people for what their thoughts are. I'm jumping ahead, I'm going to talk about this more. And then the frequency. So there was a little rumour that went around a few months ago that actually it was much better if you only shared content 2 or 3 times a week. And I really took that to heart. And what was said, and again, this has kind of been repeated recently, only share a little, but make sure that that content is quality. Now, the truth of the matter is that Facebook will penalise you if you are posting crap 5 times a day, 10 times a day. Some pages were posting 80 times a day. Facebook will penalise you for that because it is spam. If you are posting lots and you are getting no engagement, Facebook will show it to less people. If you are posting frequently, but you are getting engagement, again, Facebook tells you that this tells Facebook that your page is good quality content and you will be seen more in the newsfeed by the people who like your page. So, how can you make that happen? Because I know that is the question on your lips, and these next few tips are really going to help you, my darlings. So somebody asked me before whether we were looking at pre-recorded video or live video. Live video is still the baby for Facebook. It is absolutely, they love it. They are all over it. They want to be competing with YouTube in terms of the amount of video content that is shared on the platform. And whenever you're going live, they will place it as a priority. So the question is if you only have a few, a couple of hundred people on your page and only 5% of the people are seeing your posts, how can you even let them know that you're going live? You do this by doing what I've been doing all week, is letting people know beforehand that you are going to go live. So even having the little preview up to say Susie's planning to go live at 8 o'clock is really, really helpful in letting people know. But also, I told people on my Instagram stories that I was going to be going live on Facebook at 8. I also told my email list that I was going to be going live at 8. And you can even let your email list know not just a day before, but 5 minutes before. You can treat it a bit like people treat a webinar, so that you're constantly telling people that you've got great content and you're going to be on at a certain time. Now, the other thing that I am doing is I am creating regular content in the shape of the Wow with Susie show. So although this is on a Sunday today, because I just wanted to get the content out, the reality is that it's going to be on Thursday morning at 9:30 every week. And although we're probably going to go over time today, I'm going to try and keep it to around 30 minutes. So people know that unless there has been some kind of wild hurricane that has come through and just taken everything away, I am going to be live on the screen at 9:30 on a Thursday morning, week in, week out. What does that mean? It breeds familiarity. So although I will be emailing people to let them know, people are just going to start coming on. And at 9:30, expecting to get the content. So anywhere, this is the reason why you started seeing lots of people create, their Susie TV, Lana TV, whatever. It's because they want to create regular content on Facebook. So going live and then going live at a regular time is really, really powerful. Creating freebies. So if I had Jennifer, why is this scary, Jennifer? Hit me. Why is it scary? So if I'd have had a little bit more time, been a little bit more organised, what I would have done is create a freebie to go with this content, which is exactly what I did with my webinar series a couple of months ago. So people come on, they're getting great content and they're like, oh, this is really interesting, but what do I do next? Well, let me just hook you up, put your, click the link down below and you can download the cheat sheet to accompany this show. Now, I get that maybe you're not going to do that every week, but the more you can do that, one, the more engagement you're getting. Facebook is seeing clicks, but more importantly, you're moving people off Facebook land that they own onto your email list, which you own. So anytime, and cheat sheets are really, really simple. Anytime you can create a little bit of extra content to complement what you've been talking about, that is a really, really powerful thing to do to get more engagement with your audience. Jennifer, I'm sure I'll fluff up my words and say something stupid. Been taking baby steps to get there. Do you know what? If you'd have seen me this week, and I've written loads of posts about it, I have made so many errors and failed so many times and had such a nightmare with trying to get this first show out. Do not worry. The more you do it, the more confident you will get. And it's absolutely fine to say stupid things, because anybody who is judging you from that side of the screen when they are pooing their pants and not doing anything to get themselves out there and grow their business deserves... I was going to do something offensive there, but you get my thing. You get the vibe. Like, no one be judging you for getting up and doing your thing. So create freebies to go with your content. Email your list to let them know you'll be live, and also let the relevant groups know what you're going to be talking about. So they are absolutely, if you only do one of those things, go live. But if you can do more of those things, so go live on a regular basis, create additional content to go with your page, more people, Facebook will show your content to more people. So, point 2, we've already touched upon this a little bit, but I am going to go back there. It is to ask for engagement. Anna, this is the same as me. I'm actually citizen with fear, frozen with fear about doing it. Major block for me. Oh, Anna, I'm excited. I've got something exciting coming up at the end of the month, and I'm going to be talking about it next week, and it's really, really going to help you. So please be coming back to the page, or make sure that you're on my newsletter list, because you are, I mean, it will freak you out for sure, but it's really going to help you get over your fear, I promise you. So point 2, ask for engagement. We kind of have talked about that. So you just want to be asking for comments and questions all of the time. That's on your lives. But you can also do this with your posts. So I did a little experiment this week where I literally just asked people, I kind of updated people. I was like, I've just finished this part of creating this bit of content. Can I get a fist bump? And I got everybody, I think about 10 people engaged with me, giving me a fist bump for their emojis. Another post I did this week was just talking about the fact that I was daydreaming, sat at my desk, thinking about going to Barcelona in May on retreat. If you want to give yourself a beautiful Mother's Day gift today, message me about how you can join me in Barcelona, because it's going to be amazing. And then I asked people, what is your favourite place that you would love to be right now? That post got so much engagement and so many views. I think there were about 25 comments on it. It wasn't necessarily to do with work, but because I'm getting the engagement, what Facebook does is say that this page is worth showing her content to more people. The other thing is just because I'm appearing in the newsfeed for the people that are engaging with me once, they're much more likely when they're doing the mindless scroll just to come back and see what I'm doing. We're building up the know, like, and trust factor. So when it comes to beating the algorithm, you can't beat it. You can only work with it. You can work with it by writing or creating great content, creating engaging content. But you can also, you're building up the rapport with the people who like what you do. So you're no longer having to rely on Facebook. When you're creating enough and frequent enough good quality content, people will be coming back to your page off their own accord, because they love what it is that you're doing and creating. And sometimes you're just engaging with them in a fun way, and other times you are engaging with them, about serious stuff, about the stuff that you want to sell, about the stuff that they need to know. One of my favourite engaging posts for the Calm Birth School is just to say, what's your favourite girl's name? What's your favourite boy's name? God, that always gets hundreds and hundreds of comments. I love that. So, content upgrades. I've explained to you what a content upgrade is. Please let me know if you need any further tips on that. But essentially, a content upgrade is just creating additional content to complement what you are talking about live, or even if you're doing this on a blog post so I did a post where I broke down how I did my 85k launch, and then I did a challenge checklist if people were interested in running their own challenge. The challenge checklist is the content upgrade. Do likes on a page count? They absolutely do count in terms of engagement. Jade, loving all the positive chat around the algorithm. Hear too many people moaning. You're always so refreshing. Thank you, my darling. I appreciate you too. You make me smile. Number 4, my lovely ladies, is to collaborate. So this is really looking at your peers and your colleagues, people who are in complementary fields, and seeing what work you can do together. So whether this is shouting somebody else out on your Facebook page, obviously also works well for Instagram, or inviting them on to do an interview with them. I really recommend you, whenever you can do anything live on Facebook as opposed to sharing links from YouTube or any other platforms, Facebook prefer it, but getting people on. The reason why this is powerful is, one, all businesses are built on relationships, and often we talk about the relationships that we have with our clients and our potential clients being the most important thing. But actually, if you can build relationships with your peers or people who are 1 or 2 steps ahead of you, then that is really, really powerful. So one of the ladies who is speaking at Limitless Life, Lucy Sheridan Whiteman, you should absolutely go and check out her Instagram. She talks a lot about confidence and comparison. So she is, I think, the UK's only comparison coach. She got a shout out the other day from a girl on Instagram called Zoella. Zoella has, I don't know, millions of followers. Anyway, her Instagram went up from 10 to 20,000 people in a week because of that shout out. So we're not all going to get shouted out by Zoella, but by picking people who are 1 or 2 steps ahead of you, who have a couple of hundred more followers that complement the people who are in your target audience, and you're working with somebody who complements what you do, you get to piggyback off their audience. So you do an interview together and you ask them to share it with their community. So your face gets seen in front of all of their eyeballs, and their face gets seen in front of all of your community's eyeballs. It's a really, really powerful way to, 1, work relationships, but 2, get extra, to get extra eyeballs on your work. 3, when you promote it and market it properly by telling people that you're going to be on live. Ideally, we want these interviews to be live, and you can do them live now if you use a system called Zoom, which has the picture-in-picture, or Be Live TV. I prefer Zoom because Zoom's a bit cheaper than Be Live. So you can do these interviews live, and again, ask for the comments, ask for the engagement. So yeah, collaboration is a really great thing that you can be doing. So that is tip number 4. I mean likes on posts, not the page. Yes, likes on posts count as engagement. Definitely important. So tip number 5, this is just something that I have only recently started doing. You can tell that the reason that I wasn't supposed to do this last week is that I was obviously supposed to do more experimentation. But number 5 is to pin your most popular post to the top of your page. Now you can be checking your insights. There's a tab on your Facebook page called Insights where you can see where are you getting the most engagement. So this is so easy for me. When I was looking at where I got the most engagement, it was on my live videos and then on the posts that weren't necessarily related to work where I was asking for engagement. Pin your most popular post for the week to the top of your page, and it's a really great way to get extra engagement. So if you go to my page right now, I am obviously promoting the Limitless Live experience on the 15th of June. So that video there with all of my special guests featured is the thing that's at the top of my page, and that will probably be there for a couple of weeks. So have a look at your insight, see where you're getting the most engagement already, and then rinse it. So many times we want to make things really, really complicated. We want to reinvent the wheel, and we don't have to do that. We can just see what's already working and go with that. Point 6, we've already covered, which is write post, ask for engagements, thoughts, ideas and opinions. Hannah Rose, loving all of this. Great, bless you. Right, I'm just having a glug of my wine. So, number 7, switch up your profile and cover pictures regularly. How many of you have the same picture or had the same picture up for at least a couple of months? How many of you never change your Facebook page cover? If that is you, change it up. Particularly, and I get that sometimes this is a confidence thing, but if you go with your logo, please switch your logo for your face. Ultimately, the people who are investing in 99% of the people that follow my page are service-based businesses where we are buying into people. So they want to see your face. So pick your nicest picture and pop it up there. And really be changing it every couple of weeks. Yeah, just get into it. It's okay. You know, we spend a lot of time telling our clients, it's like giving me the monkey emoji. We spend so much of our time telling our clients how amazing they are, how beautiful they are, how much they should love themselves. But when it comes to putting ourselves front and center of our business, all of the body shame, all of the ego shame, all of the judgment shame comes up in absolute, do you know what I mean? It's just there. And I want to just give you permission today to step into the advice that you are giving to your clients and potential clients every day of the week. Love yourself a little bit more and just put yourself front and center. Layla, on my to-do list, implement, baby. Implement. Debbie, I don't. You need to get on it, my darling. So that is tip number 7, to get more engagement. People are just a little bit nosy as well. They want to see what it is that you are doing. Look, because I talk so much, I always cover the points that I want to talk beforehand. But point number 8 is create original content for Facebook. And I touched upon this with the blog post. I am a fan of a mini blog post on in Facebook directly. I do share a couple of posts via a third-party app called SmarterQ twice a week, just for the sake of, I want people to be seeing my content. I love my blogs, I love what I write, and I want people to, particularly the new people who are finding my page at the time, I want to introduce them and also direct them back to my website. But when you're creating original content for Facebook like this is really great, because what I can do with it is it will go, in fact, I've got it set up now so it goes straight to YouTube. See, look, this is the content upgrade, guys. Actually listing out all of the different tools that I use to help me repurpose my content, or all of the tools I have mentioned in this live. So what I could do is, because I now have a very small team, but who are amazing, is go to my content manager and say, right, so first of all, we need to get a transcript for this. So I send it to rev.com, go through the transcript, see all of the different tools I have mentioned, and then let's create a top 10 cheat sheet. I can then go for a video views campaign on this video, and in the first comment or in a pinned comment, I can ask people to sign up to get a list of all of the different tools that I've mentioned. So, and then I can upload this video to YouTube and add it to my YouTube channel. How good is that? And then we can just make sure that we keep sharing this on a regular basis because it's great content. So that is an example of how you can really make your lives work for you. The cover, Jennifer Skulls, I did it the other day and I love it. She's saying she changed her cover up. Good. I'm really glad that you did it. So yes, create original content for Facebook and then rinse it. I know that some of you are going to wince when I say this, but it's super, super important. Tip number 9 is post authentic stories about you. Now, you again, whether you are looking at this for your organic posts or for your paid for advertising, it's super, super important that you share stories about yourself. Much more important than I've got 3 spaces left to fill in my class at the end of March or my class at the end of April. I can guarantee you that if you share stories about why you do what you do, why it's important, what your vision is, what pisses you off, about your industry or about your niche that people don't understand, all of those things, when you come at it from the heart and then add a little PS, if you want to know more, if you want to talk to me about the space I've got, or you put your special offer in the PS, you will get far more engagement than putting up a straight up sales post. And the reason that is because Facebook is a social platform and people are on it to engage socially. And engaging with people socially is about knowing who it is that you're talking to and getting to know them. So please, 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 post authentic stories about you. Let me know how that makes you feel. Anna's like, I need to do this. Anna, we are going to play so much. Again, I've got some really juicy tips for you. So watch out because all of the details, I'm going to be sharing all of the details later on in the week. So that is tip number 9, is post authentic stories about you. Final tip for you, my beauties, and really I'm circling back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the live, is quality and consistency. So I encourage you to think about, and you can plan this a week ahead. For me, I don't do much planning. I plan for my Instagram. I don't plan for my Facebook. So what I do, the strategy behind how to get regular and consistent posts up, is to share what's going on in my day. So that is the documenting. And so that's I'm daydreaming about Barcelona. What are you daydreaming about? Or this is the book that I'm reading. What book are you reading? This is what's going on with me today. What's going on with you? So that's one post. And then in an ideal world, when I am on my game, I'm doing a live like Monday to Friday. So that's 2 pieces of quality content. Now, what I've committed to today with the introduction of the Wow with Susie show is that there is going to be a detailed, free training or interview or inspiring piece of content that is featured on the Wow with Susie show at 9:30 every Wednesday from this point on. And that, I feel so excited about that. I am so excited about this show, and I hope that you guys have loved it too, because this is the quality and the consistency that I am talking about. So really just have a think. Yours might not be a whole show. It might be, I'm committing to doing an interview once a week, or I'm committing to, I really want you to go live. I really want you to be using video actually. So yes, you can commit to sharing a blog post once a week. That's great, and that should be part of your content plan. But showing your face and going live is going to really boost your engagement. We can't beat the algorithm, we have to play with it, and video is such an important part of that. Oh, am I back? Debbie's just saying, oh, it's stuck. Am I back? Thursday, 9:30. And what I would say, I was about to finish, but Yvonne has just brought up a really good point. How do I plan? So Rachel, question, how do I plan for Instagram? I use a tool called Planoly. So I have changed my account from personal to business, which a lot of my mentors say don't do, but I really love the tool Planoly, which is the only authorized Instagram planning tool that does auto posts. So I use that tool. Now, this with the personal stuff and for Instagram, this is how I'm planning it, and you can absolutely use this for Facebook. So think about who you are, think about your target audience, what their challenges and problems are, and think about the stuff that you really want to talk about. And I want you to come up with, and this, I have to give her a shout out because she is amazing. Yasmin Starr, it's not Yasmin, it's Jasmine. She's amazing. So this is one of her strategies, which I have absolutely taken and run with. You select 9 to 12 categories. So I'm not going to give you all of my categories, but I share, one of my categories is blog posts, one of my categories is inspiring quotes, one of my categories is family, one of my categories is clients, one of my categories is freedom, one of my categories is impact. And what I do for my Instagram, which can absolutely be applied to Facebook, is I look, so with Instagram, my intention is only ever to post one post a day on the feed. I may up that to 2, I don't know, but I plan out 30 days. So I have at least one of those categories covered in every 9 to 12 squares. So I can obviously source different pictures. I will make sure, one of my categories is me. So I have to have my face in there every 9 to 12 squares. I have to be talking about my clients every 9 to 12 squares. I have to be talking about impact and what that means, and freedom and what that means, and entrepreneurship and what that means. So when you break it down into categories like that, you get to choose what you're sharing. So if, for example, I like to let people know that I'm a mum of 3 and a stepmom of 1. And so whilst I will never be known as a mummy blogger, and that's not what I want to be known for, I also want I want people to know that I get it, because I've got a big family and I'm juggling all the things, and sometimes I get stressed and sometimes I get overwhelmed, and sometimes my kids are like, I want people to know that. And so every 9 to 12 squares, I share a picture of my kids. So you don't have to let everybody know all of the things if you don't want to get really personal. But for me, part of my ethos and my values is really talking about impact and getting people to understand that the reason we're doing this is not just to help ourselves, but it's to make a deeper impact with our clients and with the rest of the world. So every 9 to 12 squares, I'm talking about that shit. So it's probably took me, I wasn't 100% focused, but it was like a day out of my schedule, a day around, talking to clients, but like one day allocated to plan out 30 different posts using that strategy. But I get to, because I'm using Planoly for Instagram, I can see it all laid out and it all looks pretty. And if you look at like my last 12 squares, if you're not following me, Susie_Ashworth on Instagram, my feed is looking so much hotter because I'm using this strategy, which, as I say, you can take exactly the same thing for your Facebook, 9 to 12 categories, but instead of posting once a day, you can plan it out for 2 or 3 times a day, but using that same strategy. And within that, be making sure, rather than maybe it's your blog post, maybe they're your live videos. But whenever you are creating live content, be directing people there so that they know that it's happening. Very, very powerful for your engagement and increasing your reach within the newsfeed. Rachel, love this.